Hi, I'm Kelly Sadler, and this is Politically Unstable. This week, we're joined by Mark Morgan, who is the former commissioner of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency. Welcome, Mark.
Kelly, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. We have a crisis at the southern border. Every month, it seems that the Biden administration sets records for the number of encounters of illegal aliens pouring across the southern border. Last month was another record, and on top of that, it was 2.5 million in fiscal 2023. Year to date is 7.9 million. That includes some of the gotaways that have come into this country. But the stat I was most concerned about and want to talk is 169 people were identified as being on the FBI's terror watch list that have come across the border just in this year alone. That is more than the previous 6 years combined. What type of national security threat are we facing with these numbers?
Yeah, Kelly, look, that's the question. If I can, real quick, the numbers too. We were talking about it earlier. In FY21, total nationwide encounters, they set a record 1.9. In FY22, they shattered that record, 2.7 million total nationwide encounters. And right now, FY23, total nationwide encounters is 3.2 million. Under this watch, that's 7.7 million total nationwide encounters in 34 months. And then to your point, in 34 months, 1.6 million known gotaways. And so now let's talk about what you just said, those on the terror watch list. You said 160 just this fiscal year. The full 34 months of this administration, it's been over 280 illegal aliens have been apprehended by the Border Patrol. Last month alone, Border Patrol apprehended more illegal aliens on the FBI's terror watch list than all 4 years combined under the Trump administration. And that's only half the equation. There's also special interest aliens. In the same 34 months, Border Patrol has apprehended illegal aliens from 180 different countries. Many of those countries pose a significant security risk and threat to our country because they facilitate, harbor, or connected terrorist organizations. We've encountered tens of thousands of special interest aliens, who most of which we can't vet before we're releasing. But the ultimate question, to your point, the gotaways, 1.6 million gotaways. Our intelligence community, as good as we are, we're not infallible. There are gaps we have. We have no idea how many individuals on the terror watch list or how many special interest aliens are among the 1.6 million known gotaways. It's not a matter of when the threat is here, it's already here.
So, I mean, do you believe, and we have the war in Israel going on right now. Iran, as active proxies throughout the world, terrorist proxies. Do you believe that there are some sleeper cells within the United States, and that some of these sleeper cells are immigrants that have crossed through the southern border and gone undetected?
Yeah, Kelly, look, this is a great question that unfortunately most of the media is not asking. They're overly focused on the South and the Middle East, and I get it. But we've got to be talking about what's happening on our own borders, and that's the question. So here's what the war in Israel told us. Two things. One, the global terrorism is alive as well. And the same Islamic extremists that carried out the atrocities against Israel, their commitment to do harm to our homeland is still there. It's unwavering. The second thing is it showed it was a colossal intelligence failure. I don't mean that for attribution. It's just a fact. And so for us right now, if you ask our own intelligence community, of the 1.6 million known gotaways, how many aliens are on the terror watch list are among the 1.6 million? Kelly, their answer is, we don't know. If we ask how many special interest aliens are among the 1.6 million known gotaways, their answer will be, I don't know. Their next question, to your point, will be, this is the question I would ask our intelligence community. So of the 1.6 million, can you definitively tell us that a sleeper cell has not evaded apprehension among the 1.6 million are in the United States planning the next terrorist attack? Their response will be, they don't know.
I mean, that's just frightening. It's frightening, and I think that, to your point, we think that these wars are so far away and these terrorists are overseas, but when we have a porous southern border, it's ripe for the picking for people who want to do death to America, because not only do they want to do death to Israel, they want to do death to America. Mark, there's a supplemental funding bill. The Biden administration wants $100 billion for aid to Ukraine, for aid to Israel, and it includes some fortification along the southern border. Is this a money problem? How do we stop, this flow of migrants across the southern border? Is it a resource problem? Do we need more agents? Do we need more processing centers? How do we stop this?
Yeah, that's why I love talking to you because I know you know the answer to the question, but these are good questions that we should be asking, Kelly. And no, it's not a resource issue, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Do we need more technology? Do we need more Border Patrol agents, access roads, wall? Of course, but that's not the issue right now. Under this administration, it's a policy issue. And right now, let's be honest. And I'm not weighing on Ukraine by this comment, but let's be very, very clear. Is that his speech and what he's trying to propose to the president? This is all about Ukraine funding. Adding in money for our own border security is just a distraction to try to legitimize what he's asking for Ukraine. But the meager amount he's asking for border security, it's not legitimate border security funds, Kelly, not at all. What he's asking for is just going to facilitate more processing and facilitate and encourage more illegal immigration. If he was serious about it, what he would do is he would attach HR2 to the funding stream. That is the strongest border security bill that the House passed a few months ago in our nation's history. If you actually want to secure the border, it's not about money, it's about policy, and that's what HR2 brought, and he's not even touching that.
So what is in HR2 exactly? Why would HR2 be successful if passed and put into effect?
Yeah, because it really lays out a strategy that's going to present deterrence and consequences, right? So it's going to deter those illegally entering, wanting to illegally enter, to stop them from even trying. And two, it's going to apply extreme consequences to those that do. Like, for example, we would end catch and release. That's one of the major things that they want. If they know they're going to come to our border, it's not any more complicated. And again, I know you know this, but if they come to the border and they release them, they're into the United States, they're going to keep coming. If you cut that off, which we did under the Trump administration, under the Remain in Mexico program, shocker, they'll stop coming. The Remain in Mexico program alone, by February of 2020, we had reduced illegal immigration by 85%. Why is it so important to stop illegal immigration? Besides its violation of the rule of law and our sovereignty as a nation, is that drives our borders to be unsecure. It pulls resources off the front line. They're relegated to administrative duties, processing illegal aliens. We literally hand operational control over to the cartels to push drugs, criminals, and national security threats across our border.
Mark, I know that you're in touch with a lot of agents. What is their morale right now? Are they down in the dumps? I know that they're overwhelmed with the numbers that are crossing and the enforcement that they're doing. Like, what is the overall sense of morale among the ranks?
Yeah, the best way I can answer that, let me give you a quote from a Border Patrol agent. Been serving as a Border Patrol agent for about 26 years. One morning, as he always has done for 26 years, he was looking in the mirror, he was getting his uniform all squared away, and he said, as he was making sure his buttons were all good, he looked up in the mirror and he had this rush that come over him the first time in 26 years. And he said, Mark, he goes, I just realized I've become part of the world's largest smuggling operation. That sums it up. That's how they feel. They're going through the motions now. Really, when they're good out there, it's really about the woman or man to their right or left. But they know every single day. Think about this. If you went home every single night and put your head down on the pillow and you know that you're being prevented from doing the job that you signed up to swore to do to defend and protect our nation against the vast, complex threats coming in, and that the administration is refusing and not allowing you to do that job, that's a heavy burden to lay your head down and think about every night.
So this is kind of my final question to you. 2024, it's a presidential election year. We know that Joe Biden has shown no willingness to change any of his policies when it comes to immigration in the southern border. He's polling, like in the 20s to 30s on the issue in terms of favorability. He's underwater. But let's just say a Republican wins in 2024, and all of the candidates that are running in the primary, including Donald Trump, have a strong, immigration stance. A lot of them are mimicking what Donald Trump actually put into effect during his first 4 years. How easy or hard will it be for whoever wins that nomination to kind of reverse the tide that Biden has brought?
Yeah, that's the question. And I don't know if I could put it in terms of easy, but I would say it's straightforward, right? And I'm not trying to be flip with my answer here, but literally just look up on the shelf and look at Trump border security package. Pull that off, dust it off, and implement it. And what I mean by that is, so on the policy front, reinstate the asylum and cooperative agreements we had with all three Northern Triangle countries. Reinstate the Remain in Mexico program that we had. Let ICE do their job. That if you're here illegally, that means you're going to be removed from this country. And then that's on the policy side. And then on the resource side, which you mentioned before, the multi-layer strategy of infrastructure, technology, and personnel. Let's start infusing technology in between the ports, outer ports, additional personnel, and of course, building the wall. If you have that policy strategy of deterrence and consequences and the resource strategy combined together, we can be successful. That's exactly what we're doing under the Trump administration. I'll tell you, but day one, though, because of what this administration has done, the conservative president at White House needs to declare a national emergency, deploy United States military to our border, and we need to change how we're going after the cartels.
Well, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And that's it for this week's Politically Unstable.